no question that it's a confusing, complicated world out there, and part of our job as parents is to teach our kids how to navigate it.
And we're not just talking about how to teach our children to move through the world, but our biggest problem as parents is to make sure that by the time they spring from the nest, that they are confident and independent people, but also considerate and charitable people.
And that is something that we grapple with a lot, you know. So as part of our My Baby, Me, My World series that we're doing with Pampers, we thought that we would take some of the things that we're using and some ideas that we got from our viewers, talk about teaching our kids positive values from the very beginning.
One of the biggest issues is sharing. If you're going to have a play date with young kids, and say the play date is at your house and your child has a favorite toy that they maybe wouldn't want to share, that you tell the child before this other playmate comes over, let's just put that toy away.
Right.
So you don't have to share that.
Right.
But I really feel if you have a play date at your house and you've got toys on the floor, everything's fair game.
So what do you do if they both want to share and they're fighting over it?
Well, I think one of the biggest tools that I used was the timer on the oven.
Yeah.
Because then the timer is the bad guy.
Right.
So you set the timer for 3 minutes.
It's not some arbitrary reason.
Right.
It's very concrete.
You set the timer for 3 minutes. You say, okay, for 3 minutes, you get to play with this toy. And when the timer goes off, you have to let the other person have it. And you use the timer.
Have you heard your kids? It's interesting. They can call each other names, and anything in front of the word head is like the worst insult ever.
Like a poop head.
Anything. Diaper head, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It could be something totally silly, you know, chair head. Oh, you called me chair head. It's like when they get the control over their language, about the same time they're getting control over the potty training thing.
Yeah.
So it seems like the words and the toilet humor kind of converge like at the same time, and there's a lot of like trying out name calling with these words. I'm a big believer that you don't name call.
Yeah, no.
You can identify behavior, but I don't think you name, like, so I've had my kids be like, he's being a jerk. No, she's being a jerk. You know, I'm like, no, we don't call each other names in this house. If she kicked you, or if she hit you, or if
you describe it, and
you describe the behavior. Don't just tell me.
Use your words.
Yeah.
You know, use your words rather than hit. Use your words rather than scream. You know, explain the situation, and maybe that's one of the reasons why my kids never really got into that, because the verbal, you know, they were always taught to describe the situation and to talk it out. Like
I tell them when they get in those fights, you know how they say like for every like negative thing you have to have like 5 or 10 positives or whatever. I will make them sit down and think of 5 nice things to say about the other person.
Now that I have done, you know, I've sat, you know, when they fight, they fought, you know, you put them on the stairs, you know, where they have to sit really close together, side by side. And they can't get off the stairs until they've each said 5 nice things to each other. And there have been times when they've spent hours on the stairs.
It's so frustrating because I know they're just
being stubborn. That's a good thing, you know, where you kind of say, okay, yeah, I'm really mad at this person, but this person isn't like totally bad.
They say charity begins at home. When I was a kid, well, my sister was born when I was 4. Like 2 days after I turned 4, my sister was born. And my mom, she was brilliant, and I don't even know if she meant to do this or if she even knew what she was doing when she did this, but I actually remember her coming home from the hospital with my sister and sitting me down on the couch and saying, here's your new baby. Ever since then, I felt a responsibility to care for my little sister. And I've tried to kind of do the exact same thing with my kids, and they have a feeling of stewardship over their younger siblings, and I do have them. You know, Sam is 16, and he's probably changed more diapers than most fathers.
I think also one of the things that's really important to teach is manners. And
you know, what's happening to manners?
I think it clearly starts at home. It starts with how you conduct yourself. I mean, are you polite to your child? It's using the pleases and the thank yous in every single thing you do. But it really does take the parent getting into the groove of it.
Right.
You know, if the parent isn't consistent, then the child won't be consistent. But if you are there all the time, doing that all the time, then they will pick it up.
That's true.
I know that our viewers probably have a lot of things that they can contribute to the conversation, and we'd love to hear your tips and ideas and things that have worked for you. So if you could go to mommycast.com and leave a comment, or especially go to our Facebook page and write on our wall and tell us the different things that have worked for you, that would be terrific.
I remember one time when Matt and Avery were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Avery comes running up the stairs at my house, and he's like all upset, huffing and puffing, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, Matt called me a big fancy baby. And Matt comes running up behind him, and he goes, well, you are. You're a big fancy baby, you know.
Playtime will never be the same again, thanks to new Pampers Cruisers with Drymax. They're not just 20% thinner. They're also 2 times drier. It's next generation dryness. New Cruisers with Drymax. So playtime never ends. Only from Pampers.